We are drawn to darkness, to the unknown. It's an intrinsic part of human nature to be curious about what lies beyond the light, to explore the shadows that hide our deepest fears and desires. The allure of the unknown is irresistible, pulling us into realms where our imagination runs wild. Horror reflects our deepest fears, magnified on screen. It serves as a mirror, showing us the darkest corners of our psyche. From the silent films of the early 20th century to the spine-chilling blockbusters of today, horror has always been a genre that pushes boundaries and challenges our perceptions of reality. From flickering candlelight to gruesome practical effects, horror has always evolved. The genre adapts with the times, incorporating new technologies and techniques to create ever more terrifying experiences. The artistry behind horror is a testament to human creativity and our desire to confront and understand fear. Each generation pushes boundaries, seeking new ways to horrify. The evolution of horror is a reflection of societal changes and technological advancements. What scared audiences in the 1950s is different from what terrifies us today, yet the core elements of suspense, surprise, and the supernatural remain constant. Today, we stand on the precipice of a new era, hyper-realism. With the advent of virtual reality and advanced CGI, horror is becoming more immersive than ever before. These technologies allow us to step inside the nightmare, experiencing fear in a way that feels almost tangible. This isn't just about blood and gore, it's about the psychological impact, the way horror can tap into our most primal fears and anxieties. The best horror stories are those that leave a lasting impression, haunting us long after the lights have come back on. It's about blurring the line between fiction and reality. The meticulous craftsmanship that goes into creating these terrifying worlds is astounding. From makeup and special effects to sound design and cinematography, every element works together to create an experience that feels disturbingly real. It's about creating experiences so visceral, so unsettling, they linger long after the credits roll. The true power of horror lies in its ability to evoke a strong emotional response, to make us confront our fears and question our reality. The future of fear is here. As technology continues to advance, the possibilities for horror are endless. We are only beginning to scratch the surface of what can be achieved in this genre, and it is terrifyingly real. The line between our nightmares and reality is becoming increasingly blurred, making the experience of fear more intense and immersive than ever before. Hyper-realism in horror is more than just visual fidelity. It's an art form that delves deep into the psyche, aiming to evoke a visceral reaction from the audience. The goal is not just to show fear, but to make the viewer feel it in their bones. It's about capturing the essence of fear itself, the terror that lurks in the shadows of our minds, waiting to be awakened by the slightest trigger. This is achieved through meticulous attention to detail, where every element is crafted to perfection. The subtle twitch of a creature's muscle, this seemingly minor detail can send shivers down the spine, making the unreal feel all too real. It's these small, almost imperceptible movements that breathe life into the monstrous. The way blood vessels burst beneath the skin. This gruesome detail adds a layer of authenticity that can be both fascinating and horrifying. It's a testament to the skill of the artists who bring these nightmarish visions to life, the chilling sound of a bone snapping. This auditory element is crucial in creating a fully immersive experience. The sound design in hyper-realistic horror is as important as the visuals, working together to create a symphony of terror. These details, rendered with chilling precision, create an immersive experience, one that blurs the line between reality and fiction, pulling the viewer into a world where nightmares come to life, one that taps into our primal instincts. Fear is a fundamental human emotion, deeply rooted in our survival mechanisms. Hyper-realistic horror exploits this, triggering responses that are hardwired into our brains. We are wired to react to these threats even when we know they are not real. The power of hyper-realism lies in its ability to bypass our rational mind and speak directly to our most basic fears. Hyper-realism exploits this, turning fiction into a sensory assault. It's a relentless barrage on the senses, designed to leave a lasting impression. This is the magic of hyper-realistic horror. It makes the impossible feel possible and the imaginary feel real. Generative technology is the architect of this new horror. Algorithms and artificial intelligence are now capable of crafting images and sounds indistinguishable from reality. This technology allows filmmakers to create creatures and environments of unprecedented detail and realism. Imagine hordes of insects, each one unique, crawling over decaying flesh, or a loved one's face contorting into a grotesque mockery of itself. The possibilities are limitless and terrifying. Traditional horror relied on practical effects. Makeup, prosthetics, and elaborate sets created a tangible sense of dread, but they had limitations. CGI, once clunky and unconvincing, has become a powerful tool. Hyper-realistic CGI can now seamlessly blend with live-action footage. The result? Creatures that defy nature. Environments that warp and shift before our eyes. Effects so subtle, so insidious, they burrow under your skin. This is the new frontier of fear. Consider John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. This film is a masterclass in practical effects, showcasing the incredible work of Rob Bottin. The creatures in The Thing are grotesque, tangible, and horrifyingly real. They are a testament to the power of practical effects in creating a visceral reaction in the audience. The physicality of these creatures, with their exposed flesh and grotesque forms, instills a primal fear of the unknown. The audience can almost feel the slimy texture and smell the putrid stench of these abominations. This is the power of practical effects. They create a tangible connection between the audience and the horror on screen. Rob Bottin's groundbreaking practical effects were grotesque, tangible. They were crafted with meticulous detail, each sinew and muscle painstakingly created to evoke a sense of dread and revulsion. The practical effects in The Thing are not just special effects, they are characters in their own right, each with a story to tell. They instilled a primal fear of the unknown. The suspenseful atmosphere combined with the grotesque practical effects created a sense of dread that permeated the entire film. The audience was left on the edge of their seats, their hearts pounding in their chests as they watched the horror unfold. Fast forward to Alex Garland's Annihilation from 2018. This film represents a new era in horror, one where the boundaries of reality are blurred by the use of advanced CGI. The mutated creatures in Annihilation are rendered with photorealistic CGI, creating a visual experience that is both beautiful and terrifying. These creatures are not bound by the limitations of practical effects. They can be as fantastical and otherworldly as the imagination allows. The mutated creatures, rendered with photorealistic CGI, are both beautiful and terrifying. They are a testament to the advancements in technology and the limitless possibilities it offers. The creatures in Annihilation are not just monsters, they are works of art, each one meticulously crafted to evoke a sense of wonder and fear. They represent a new kind of horror, one that is both familiar and utterly alien. The evolution is clear. From the tangible physical horror of The Thing to the fantastical otherworldly horror of Annihilation, the genre has transformed. This evolution reflects our changing fears and the advancements in technology that allow filmmakers to bring those fears to life in new and exciting ways. We are no longer limited by the constraints of the physical world. With CGI, filmmakers can create worlds and creatures that defy the laws of physics and reality. This allows for a more immersive and surreal horror experience, one that can tap into our deepest fears and anxieties in ways that practical effects never could. Hyper-realism allows us to confront our deepest fears in their most visceral forms. The line between reality and fiction is blurred, creating a more intense and immersive horror experience. Whether it's the tangible horror of practical effects or the fantastical horror of CGI, the goal remains the same: to evoke a sense of fear and wonder in the audience. The illusion of life, whether created through practical effects or CGI, is a powerful tool in the hands of a skilled filmmaker. Hyper-realistic horror triggers something primal in us. Our brains struggle to distinguish between fiction and reality. When presented with images and sounds so real, so disturbing, our bodies react accordingly. Our hearts race, our palms sweat, we scream. This visceral reaction is what makes hyper-realistic horror so effective. It's an immersive experience that stays with us long after the film is over. It forces us to confront our own mortality, our own vulnerabilities, and that is truly terrifying. Virtual reality and augmented reality are poised to revolutionize horror. Imagine stepping inside a horror film, surrounded by photorealistic creatures, or having horrifying apparitions invade your own home. This is the future of fear, immersive, interactive, and terrifyingly real. These technologies have the power to blur the lines between fiction and reality like never before. The potential for horror is both exhilarating and terrifying. But this level of realism raises ethical concerns. How much is too much? When does horror cross the line into trauma? The power of hyperrealism cannot be taken lightly. Filmmakers must use this technology responsibly, understanding its potential impact on audiences. As technology advances, so too must our ethical considerations. The future of horror is bright, but it must be navigated with caution. We must strive to terrify, yes, but also to enlighten and provoke thought. Horror has always been a reflection of our times. In an age of hyper-reality, where technology blurs the lines between truth and fiction, it's no surprise that horror has followed suit. Hyper-realism is not just a gimmick, it's the evolution of fear itself. And as technology continues to evolve, so too will the darkness that haunts our screens and our nightmares.